Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Success Squad. How are you guys doing this morning? Welcome, 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 welcome. Give me a thumbs up so that I know that you can hear me. I want to see some flowers and I want to see some roses in the chat. Good morning, squatties. It's lovely to see you guys this morning. And for those of you who are just listening or watching on your laptops, smartphones, maybe your smart TVs as well, but you're not participating in the chat, good morning to you as well. Yes, good morning, beautiful people. Good morning. Welcome to our family chat that we call Success Talk. And welcome to this channel that we call Megan, Duchess of Advocacy World Podcast. So, welcome, 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 everybody. And if this is the first time that you're joining us, I'm going to need you to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, please. And I'm going to need everybody to hit the thumbs up button as well. And you guys know how we do here. If this is the first time that you're listening to Success Talk, or if you've just discovered this channel, I must do a disclaimer alert, a disclaimer alert. We here at Megan, Duchess of Advocacy World Podcast, we are fans and stands of Megan and Prince Harry too. There are no Fitz riders here. We don't do both sides. No, 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 no. We don't do both sides. We don't like them other royals. None of them. And I'm talking about the British royals. You guys know Fred and Gladys, that nonce Andrew, Surly Sophie, and Uncle Eddie, and of course, Wank and Bones, Baldy and Mumbleina, McButtons. I mean, we have so many names for Kate Middleton, don't we? Woo, Jesus. We have a lot of names for Prince William as well. What, Baldy? Whoever came up with Wank, cheers to you. I like Wank. Somebody put in the chat how many nicknames that we have for them other royals. See, we got Fred and Gladys, we got Sasha's Fingers, uh, what Chow was it Chow Miller, Chow Chilla? Oh my gosh. Tampon, King Tampon. Oh my gosh. See, you guys already got me fired up. You already got me worked up this morning. Welcome, everybody, to Megan, Duchess of Advocacy World Podcast. And on Sunday mornings, we do Success Talk, where we have a family chat about our faves, a live podcast about our faves. And of course, our faves are the Duke and Duchess of Success, aka Prince Harry and Meghan, or Harry and Meghan. Before we get started, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. She's not really into the royals, but she's into Meghan and Harry. She's into those two. And she was saying that she feels like they don't need the titles. She said, they don't need the titles. She was like, seriously. She said, you can walk down the streets of the United States of America. And if you say the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to the average person, the average American, they're not really going to have a clue who you're talking about. But if you say Prince Harry and Meghan, or if you say Meghan Markle, people are going to know exactly who you are talking about. So it was an interesting conversation that I had with a friend of mine who's really not into the royals. But I think we've all come to that conclusion, right? Haven't we all come to that conclusion that Harry and Meghan don't really need the titles? And we discovered, or we knew, I shouldn't say we discovered, right? But in Prince Harry's book, Spare, you know how he talked about when he and Meghan had offered to give up the titles. And well, we all know why the royal family does not want Harry and Meghan to give up the titles, right? We all know why. Because those titles make the royal family relevant, right? All right. I see my Wi-Fi is a little janky, so I'm gonna scoot closer to it. I'm not too sure. I'm gonna have the cable guy come out here and look at my Wi-Fi. As much money as I pay for it. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Let me get my slides ready. Uh, oh my goodness. Somebody said wank and stank. Who was that? Oh, C-Mac. C-Mac said wank and stank. And of course, I'm talking about the the pet names that we have for them other royals in the UK, right? Okay, here's a good one. Willie Peg. That's a good one. All right, let me get these slides up here. I'll be reading these comments all morning. All right, guys. So I really didn't have a title for this live podcast. I really couldn't come up with anything genius or creative or original. um, it's basically just hashtag mental health. It's mental health. I believe October. Actually, it's not that I believe. October is Mental Health Awareness Month. And so this podcast is basically going to be talking about mental health and the Archwell Foundation's recent summit that they had, that they co-hosted with Carson Daly. So that's basically what we'll be talking about, and we'll just be talking about the Archwell Foundation as a whole, because Archwell Foundation is I mean, they're doing big things, but not only are they just doing big things, but they are really mute and uncute. My goodness. I'm going to be going back and forth between talking and looking into the chat. You guys know when I do live podcasts, I do them off the cuff. There is no organization to my live podcast. So if you guys want organization in your live podcast, if you're fairly new to listening to one of my live podcasts, you're the type of person that doesn't like people jumping around, then I think you need to exit to the left. Uh, because I'm sorry, this chat is lively today, okay? And I'm talking about The squatties that are in the chat. I lost it. Who said that? Here's a good one. Mutter and stutter. Oh my gosh. Church Nelly. But there was another one I saw. Okay, here's one. Marshall, clueless and clueless. Clueless and clueless. Here it is. Oh, it's you again, Church Nelly. Mute and uncute. Somebody in the chat, make sure you write this stuff down. Okay, so back to the live podcast, or I should say, back to the subject matter at hand. So, this live podcast is basically going to be talking about the Archwell Foundation and all of the beautiful, wonderful, lovely things that the Archwell Foundation is doing when it comes to uplifting community, right? Uplifting local communities as well as global communities. So, October is Mental Health Awareness Month. And of course, we know that our faves, that is one of their um, social agendas, right, is mental health. Okay. And the Archwell Foundation, they had co hosted a mental health summit in New York with Carson Daly. Um, I don't know how many of you squatties are familiar with Carson Daly. I'm pretty sure a lot of the American squatties are familiar with Carson Daly. Carson, way back in the day, I know I'm getting old, but way back in the day, Carson was a VJ on MTV. He hosted TRL, right? And TRL was one of the really fun music shows on MTV where they had like a countdown of everybody's favorite videos. What you did was you called in and you would request like your favorite video, and then they would have like the top 10 requested favorite videos. And back in those days, that's when like the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and Christina Aguilera and a lot of hip hop artists were huge back in the day. Eminem, that's back in the day when those guys used to sell like 10 million albums, right? Like 20 million albums. But Carson Daly, he was a VJ back in the day on TRL. So if you're looking at your screen right now, this is kind of like just a homage of what the Archwell Foundation has been up to during this past week. Okay. All right. So, as you see, Archwell Foundation giving voice to families advocating for safer online spaces, part of the World Mental Health Day that the Archwell Foundation basically hosted with Carson Daly. Um, the focus, of course, is mental health, but the main focus was in regards to young people, right? Archwell Foundation advocating for safer spaces online. Okay, I mean, even for adults, right? Being online is not safe for us. It's not safe for your mental health, right? It's like you could be online looking up some clothes, right? Like you're shopping for clothes. And then next thing you know, right, you're getting ads for porn sites. Has that ever happened to anybody in the chat or anybody who's listening? Right? It's like you're online and you could be doing something as simple as, let me think of something. You could be doing something as simple as shopping for a brand new car, right? Or, looking at cars that you may want to buy. And the next thing you know, you're getting ads, uh, advertisements for truck stops that have prostitution. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just crazy the way being online and being in social media has really become unsafe and has had a negative impact on people's mental health, but more so the younger people, um, or I should say, young people, young adults, have really been dealing with a lot of unsafe spaces being online and being in social media. So, World Mental Health Day, that's basically what the Archwell Foundation focused on during this summit. Let's see, let me go to my next slide. Okay, so there you see Prince Harry giving Carson Daly a hug, and look at that on the right of your screen. I mean, who is that? Who are those two people? That is the U.S. Surgeon General. Okay, the U.S. Surgeon General. That is a top dignitary professional in the U.S. government. He is the top doctor, period, here in these United States of America. Awesome, right? Isn't that awesome? And wow, look at that. Look at the picture on your left. Who is that guy? And he is so cool, right? He is so cool. But for those of you who don't know, because I know these pictures have been all over the internet, the picture on the left, that is the second gentleman. The second gentleman, he is Kamala Harris's, our vice president, Kamala Harris's husband. Okay, he's the second gentleman, and his name is Mr. Douglas Imhoff. He attended this summit as well. Now, like I had no idea that he was going to be there. I knew the U.S. Surgeon General was going to be there, but I had no idea that the United States of America, our second gentleman was going to be there. So that right there, this screen right here that you see in front of your beautiful, lovely eyes, right? That's an important picture. Okay, these pictures are very important. Okay, because you have to realize and understand, you have to really take in the fact that Archwell Foundation, right, is really building credibility and respectability when it comes to them having the ability to attract dignitaries, people in high places of government, people that have a huge, huge platform. Okay. These two men right here, the second gentleman, the U.S. Surgeon General, there's no way in the world that they're going to attach their name and their reputation to a foundation that is not credible and a foundation that is not having positive impact in people's lives. Okay. It's just not going to happen. Okay. I guarantee you that the vice president's husband, the vice president of the United States husband, investigated and researched Archwell Foundation as the U.S. Surgeon General. Okay. They're not going to attach their name to a bunch of fluff. Okay. You feel me? You understand where I'm going with that? They're just not. Okay. It's not going to happen. This is a big deal for Archwell Foundation. I mean, this is a foundation that's only been around for what, 3.5 years, guys. It's not like that. It's not like the Archwell Foundation has a long established history, right? So this right here, these two pictures are very important. But I want to also add to that, right? It's not just about Archwell Foundation, right? It's not just about Archwell Foundation in the short amount of years has been able to, build up their credibility and respectability and things of that nature, right? It's the two individuals, right, that started Archwell Foundation, right? It's about the two individuals' history as well. It's about Prince Harry's documented history when it comes to being engaged in social causes, right? And being engaged in service that has uplifted communities, right? Prince Harry has a documented history in doing that, right? Meghan Markle, Meghan, she has a documented history of being engaged in social causes. She has a documented history of service that uplifts people in their communities and worldwide, right? So, hand clap for Prince Harry and Meghan um, in regards to, of course, the Archwell Foundation, but as individuals themselves. It's like people say all the time in the world of success, right? Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, they are not new to this. They are true to this. They say what they mean and they mean what they say. Service is universal. You don't have to be a royal to do service. And just because you are royal, that doesn't mean that the service that you do is any more important than somebody who is a non royal, right? That was my phone. All right. Let me go back. So, like I was saying at the beginning, right? This summit right here in regards to World Mental Health Day, it was giving voice to families advocating for safer online spaces, for our young people, our young adults. Okay. So, the Archwell Foundation's Parent Summit, Mental Wellness in a Digital Age. Okay. So, what they did was they brought together parents, and this is kind of sad, but they brought together parents who've experienced tragic loss connected to their child's social media use. Okay. And they had a discussion on building community and creating safer online world for young people. Okay, that was the focus of this mental health summit right here. I don't know how many of you who are listening or how many of you are in the chat, but I have a son, okay, and he's 13 years old, and he is always on his cell phone engaging in social media. So this was very, very interesting to me, and I definitely listened to what the panelists had to say. Okay. So, and what I'm doing is I am reading off of the Archwell Foundation website. Okay. This is not coming off the top of my head. No, 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 no. So during an intimate conversation, the parents, they discuss how they are using their stories to inspire action and raise awareness of the dangers to young people's mental health. Okay. The parents whom the Archwell Foundation has engaged with over the past year. Okay, that's very, very important information to know. Okay. Meghan and Harry have been engaging with these parents over the past year. Okay, it's not like they, just looked these parents up and invited them to this summit. No, they've been engaging with these parents for the past year. And what they've done is that they've highlighted the strength and community they have found through a shared passion for creating meaningful change to prevent more families from this tragedy. Okay. And I mean, it's just sad. Some of the stories that these parents told, I believe one story was actually already featured on 60 Minutes, right? There was I believe an African American couple, right, who lost their 14-year-old daughter. Um, I believe she was getting bullied online, right? And their story was featured on 60 Minutes I think it was a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. And those parents were at this summit. So, of course, this conversation was moderated by Carson Daly and, the U.S. Surgeon General as well. He was a part of the panel, and there were some parents that are a part of the panel as well. And you know, just to hear their stories, whew, I can't even imagine walking to my child's room and finding my child, you know, has passed away. Oh, I just, and then, trying to figure out why, right? The African American couple I was talking about, they were trying to figure out why their daughter, had taken her own life. And, the father had done some research. He went through his daughter's phone and he found all kinds of stuff on her phone, and they were able to connect the dots that social media, played a huge part in it. Woo! I I don't even want to go there. But this summit right here was very important, and obviously it was very successful, right? It was a very successful summit. Um I want to talk about Carson Daly real quick. Uh Kudos to Carson Daly. I'm not a huge fan of his or nothing like that. I'm just saying kudos to him because I did not know his story. Okay. Later on during the summit, Carson Daly talked about his story and his struggles with mental health. And I just honestly had no clue. Um, and again, for those of you who don't know who Carson Daly is, he used to be a TV host on MTV, TRL, and TRL Total Request Live. But now, in the present, he's one of the co-hosts on the Today Show. Okay. Um, but I'm going to go ahead and talk about Carson real quick. He told his story about his mental health struggles, which I had no idea, but he's got severe anxiety. Okay. Severe anxiety. Okay. To where it causes him panic attacks and like he don't leave the house for days. Okay. And I had no idea that that was going on with Carson. So he got the help that he needed, which is great. But this story right here, um, I thought was a cool story to hear, and I'm glad he told it. But obviously, when you see Carson talk about his engagement with Prince Harry and Meghan, that he really, truly, genuinely likes them as people, right? Not as royals, but just as people in general. He generally likes them, especially Meghan, right? And I don't know if Carson and Meghan maybe knew each other prior because they're both in the show business world, this, that, and the other. I don't think so because he didn't allude to that or anything. But I'm gonna go ahead and add this slide. Okay, so I don't know how many of you heard this story, but Carson was saying when he met Prince Harry and when he met Meghan, he wasn't too sure what the rules were, what the royal rules were. Should he shake their hand? Should he curtsy them? Now, to be honest, I was like, Carson, somebody ought to slap you in your head thinking you need to curtsy Prince Harry and Meghan on these American shores. Like, really, dude? But anyway, I guess some people just kind of get, you know, maybe overthink things or get overwhelmed when they meet royals on these American shores. It's like ain't nobody gonna curtsy no royal here in America. But anyway, I think he was being genuine. He wasn't too sure what to do. But at the end of the day, Megan, she basically told Carson to bring it in. Just bring it in and give me a hug. So I thought that was awesome. And it just really goes to show that, Megan, she's a Cali girl, she's an American girl, and she at the end of the day has never bought into the royal protocols, so-called royal protocols. Right. So I thought that was a great story. All right, so let me get back to my other slide. And for those of you who are just joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Okay. So you guys know when Meghan and Harry go to New York that they are going to visit a school. That's protocol, right? Whenever Meghan and Harry go somewhere, right, to do business in regards to their Archwell Foundation, that's just not going to be it. They either going to go to a school or they're going to go to a military base, right? I mean, it's going to be one or the other, or it's going to be both. Okay, so Meghan and Harry, they went to a school. I believe it was a technical school in New York. So unlocking purpose-driven careers in technology. Okay, and when I saw this, I thought it was awesome. I really honestly did. I was like, yay! I was glad to see that they visited a school in New York, because at the end of the day, when it comes to making safer spaces online, right? It's got to be driven. That agenda has got to be driven by young adults in the technological in the technology world. I can't talk. Hold on, let me take a drink of this water. So like I was saying, when it comes to making safer online spaces for young people, young adults, in order to make that happen, that agenda has got to be forefronted by young people, young adults who work in technology, right? Doesn't that make sense? So it was awesome to see them visit this school. And so Prince Harry and Meghan, they stopped by the Marcy Lab School, a partner of the Archwell Foundation, to meet the exceptional fall 2023 fellows gaining the skills to pursue a purpose driven career in technology. I like those words, purpose driven career, right? Those are some key words, purpose driven career. Okay. So the Marcy Lab School, it's based in Brooklyn. Okay. Let me tell you something. Anybody in the chat from New York? I'm telling you, folks from Brooklyn, you guys are one of a kind. I'm telling you, people from New York that are from Brooklyn or from the Bronx, whoo, I love y'all. I mean, you guys have some very, what's the word I'm looking for? Just hype, right? You just so hype. I love people from Brooklyn or the Bronx. I love their personalities. I mean, they just be so hype and just like, yeah, 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 I'm from Brooklyn. I mean, but all right. So again, the Marcy Lab Fellows, this school is based in Brooklyn, And what these students do is that they participate in a year long fellowship designed to teach the software engineering skills they need to pursue tech jobs while incorporating mental wellness and civic engagement into their curriculum. So, this is awesome. The Marcy Lab is focused on building a more diverse technology sector through their education of the next generation of software engineers who are taught to use technology for good. Okay, so this school launched in 2019, so this is a fairly new school. And so far, they've had 128 graduates who pursue careers in software engineering at companies around the world. So these guys get jobs around the world. Okay, but it'd be nice if they just focused on the United States. No, I'm just being selfish. I'm being selfish. Okay, so the Archwell Foundation, they have partnered with this school, so you know what that means. They've been funding this school. I'm pretty sure they've been funding the school for a while. I know that they gave a financial donation to this school while they were there. So that's awesome. One thing about Harry and Meghan, they're going to put their money where their mouth is, right? They definitely are. Okay, so let me go ahead here. So look at those pictures. Isn't that awesome? Okay, awesome to see. Megan, she looks like one of the students, right? Doesn't Megan look like one of the students? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and look in the chat. Is there anybody from New York in the chat? Okay, so Lottie says she's a New Yorker. Oh, okay. So Miss Jones says, "Special K, I live in Brook." Oh, you live in Brooklyn, and I have been accused of having a Brooklyn accent. Everybody that I've met from Brooklyn just seems so hype, right? I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. And I love Brooklyn accents as well. I love New Yorker accents. Period. Okay. Period. Yep. H Knight has a good point. H Knight says that's one thing I love about H&M. They actually contribute through giving money and support, not just photo ops. Exactly. Right? Exactly. It's like it's not just about photo ops for them. It's really for them about focusing on either the charity, the school that they're supporting. Right? They're bringing awareness to that charity or to that school, that foundation, just whatever cause it is that they're supporting. I mean, seriously, how many people were aware of this school? I know I wasn't. Okay. So that's what they do. They bring awareness and they donate. And it's not just about photo ops. Yep. That is so true. So Sherry Ware says Harry and Meghan always emphasize their foundation, Archwell Foundation, main pillars, with everything that they do. And so I believe that's really the push for Harry and Meghan at this point. They're really trying to push the name Archwell Foundation. They're trying to make it more prominent than their names. And I don't know if that's going to happen. But I do believe that's the focus, right? Is to make that Archwell Foundation, that name more prominent. Okay, I'm still looking in the chat. Okay, see somebody else is from New York. So Kim Peaches says, "Yes, I am from New York, Washington Heights. Yeah, I don't sound like it." Oh, okay. All right. I'm still looking. Black Queen, thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate it. All right. Cookies and cream. You're from New York? Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought you were from California. All right. So awesome pictures. Okay. And Archwell Foundation, I mean, they just continued on this week. So I noticed that we didn't really talk too much about this on social media within the Success Squad. People within the squad did highlight, but it wasn't that many of us that did. But it was the day of the girl. Okay, it was the International Day of the Girl this past week. And so, of course, Archwell Foundation, they celebrated International Day of the Girl, and they did it with Troop 6000. Isn't that awesome? And look at the Archwell Foundation bags. Isn't that sweet? So, Harry and Megan, New York. So, we're still focusing on New York. This, excuse me, this Girl Scouts troop is out of New York. So, what Archwell Foundation did was they kept it New York, obviously, and they celebrated International Day of the Girl with Girl Scouts of Greater New York's Troop 6000. Isn't that great? Anybody in the chat or anybody listening um grow up being a Girl Scout? Anybody? I didn't. No, I didn't. But I always buy their cookies. Okay. And I don't want to be negative, but they got to step up their game on them cookies now. I don't want to be negative, but Girl Scouts of America, you guys need to step up your game on them cookies. Okay, you're getting a little cheap with the cookies. Okay, them cookies getting smaller and smaller, and they getting more expensive. Okay, so anybody was a Girl Scout growing up? You talk about an American tradition, right? That the Girl Scouts, that is an American tradition, right? It's an American tradition to become a Girl Scout. I wasn't a Girl Scout. I just wasn't interested in it. But being a Girl Scout or a Boy Scout, let's see. Okay, so we do have somebody. So Veronica Quick says, yes, I was a Girl Scout. Okay, and we have another one. Awesome. Brenda Gray says, I was a Girl Scout. Oh, sis, how you doing, sis? So, sis, you was a Girl Scout. VS Speaks Royally was a Girl Scout. Awesome. Hey, Miss Viv. I love you, Miss Viv. So Miss Viv, I'm sorry, says, so true about the cookies. They are more expensive, like the mint cookies and the lemon and the shortbread. I know. They really get on my nerves about the lemon cookies, though. See, my favorite are the lemon cookies and the peanut butter cookies, right? And man, them cookies just seem like they getting smaller. It's like, yo, how much you want for that little box? And I love the way they ambush you at the grocery store, right? It's like you just run into the grocery store, right, to get like some milk or something. And them little Girl Scouts be out there, and hey, there's no shame in their game. They will walk right up to you. Ma'am, would you like to buy some cookies? It's like, how can you say no? Right? How can you say no? And you can't just buy one box, right? You can't just buy one box, right? You got to buy at least 3 boxes, right? Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. So awesome, awesome, awesome. I love the way they kept it New York. And they highlighted International Day of the Girl with Girl Scouts of Greater New York's Troop 6000. You see the girls in the picture on the right. They got their Archwell Foundation bags, which is great. So Troop 6000, and again, I'm reading from the Archwell Foundation website. For those of you who haven't been on the Archwell Foundation website, please check it out. The website is awesome. It's awesome. That's why it cracks me up when you hear royal commentators say that Harry and Meghan aren't doing anything, and it's like you're supposed to be a journalist. All you got to do is go on their website and see all the things that they're doing. But see, they can't do that. They can't do that because if they do, well, first of all, let me bring it back. Trust, they go on their website. The royal reporters, the royal commentators, right? They're always on the Archwell Foundation website. Trust me, they know every single thing that Harry and Meghan do. The reason why they don't report it is because they know if they report it, it makes the royal family look like a bunch of freeloaders on the UK taxpayer dime because Harry and Meghan are running circles, and I mean circles, around the royal family when it comes to service. They're having more of an impact when it comes to service, uplifting communities than the royal family is. And guess what? The royal family can't have that narrative out there. Okay? Because if they do, sooner or later, the UK public is going to wake up and be like, why in the hell are we paying taxes? What are we paying taxes for? Just to watch these numb nuggets do photo ops with kids at school, right? Or watch these numb nuggets sit at rugby games in top box seats, but I can't afford to pay a ticket for me and my child to go to a rugby game. Sooner or later, sooner or later, they'll wake up. Sooner or later. But anyway, let me go back. So the Troop 6000 started in 2017. So this is a fairly new troop. Okay. And they are officially in New York City, specifically for young girls aged 5 to 18. Let's see. So this is awesome. To provide supportive community for the girls to make friends and have new fun experiences together. Isn't that great? Troop 6000 is a vibrant community that empowers the girls to confidentially achieve their future goals through weekly meetings, badge activities, and leadership development. The program gives the girls the courage and tools they need to thrive. Okay. You know, organizations like Girl Scouts, it's very, very important. They really, really are because they help young girls build confidence, and it teaches young girls, right, to be active in their communities. So that is awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right. Next slide. All right. Let's get ready. Let's get ready because you guys knew it was coming, right? You knew it was coming because there's always one, right? No matter what, right? There's always one. Okay. There's always one. Can't help it. Always one. So it is time for Jackass of the Week. I just like playing that. Okay, so it's time for Jackass of the Week, y'all. All right. And, this jackass has been on this program before. I don't know if I've featured this person as a jackass in the past. I probably have. I don't see how I haven't, but I'm pretty sure I have. Okay. So, you guys ready to know who the jackass of the week is? I mean, because, we all know there's plenty to choose from, right? There's plenty to choose from, right? But we're going to give this person their flowers. We're going to give them their, jackass flowers. Okay. So here we go. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. It's one of our favorites, right? It's one of our favorites. It's one of our favorite Barbies. It's one of our favorite Barbie royal reporters. Okay. And oh my gosh. Victoria. Vicky Vic. Vicky. So before I start in on Victoria, how many of you guys have watched the David Beckham docuseries on Netflix? Anybody in the chat watched it? Okay. I watched it, and my God, I watched all of the episodes in one night. Okay. I watched all of the episodes in one night. Okay. That's how good the David Beckham docuseries is, at least for me. Okay. As a kid growing up, I played soccer. I played soccer all throughout my elementary school years, middle school years, high school as well. Okay. Um, Never been like a huge David Beckham fan, you know, but I was more like a Mia Hamm fan. But if you haven't watched that docu series, please go watch it. It's really, really good. And I have a newfound respect for Victoria Beckham. Okay, I always thought Victoria Beckham was this skinny, stuck up, snobbish biatch. Okay, never gave her the time of the day. Okay. But whoo, after watching this docu-series, I have a newfound respect for her. I really honestly do. Okay, so if you haven't watched it, watch it. It's really, really good. Um, but anyway, back to this clown, Victoria, Vicky Vic, Arian Barbie. What else do we call her? See, I don't want to say her whole name, okay? I don't want to say her whole name. All right, because they be listening to our podcast now. um, so Victoria, she puts out this post about the David Beckham docuseries, and this extra idiot says this: the David Beckham docuseries on Netflix is such a great watch. True, so many lessons to be gained from his approach. He never complained. Instead, the more hate and abuse he got, the better he played. Success is the best revenge. Hashtag Beckham. Is this chick for real? Like, really? Really? I don't understand that mindset, that way of thinking. I really honestly don't because number one, she needs to practice what she preaches. Because this chick right here has been complaining and whining and whinging and complaining and crying, losing eyelashes and shit because CNN let her go because she was lying, caught lying, right? That's all she does is complain about losing her job from CNN, right? Because she lied. She lied about watching the Harry and Meghan interview on Oprah when she hadn't watched it. She had commented about it and lied and said she had watched it when she hadn't watched it. Right. And CNN was like, oh, we can't have liars, on our network. And they fired her and let her go. And she's been whining and whinging and complaining and make trying to make people feel sorry for her, playing the forever victim about losing her job at CNN. Has she moved on? Has she gotten better at her job? Has Victoria gotten better at her job? Hell no. Okay. I see a lot of people in the chat saying they don't like David Beckham. Why not? How come you guys don't like Beckham? He is fine. I'm sorry. David Beckham is fine. Mm, mm, mm. See, I like cute white boys now. Okay. Tell you. Nothing like cute white boy. Oh my gosh. My common law husband is a cute white boy. Okay. Why don't you guys like David Beckham? Now we're about to get off subject about Victoria. I want to know why you guys don't like David Beckham. Okay, so you guys think that he used. I don't like Victoria Beckham and David Beckham because they tried to use Megan to make profit. Disgusting. Okay, I honestly wasn't aware of that. I know Megan wears Victoria Beckham's clothes sometimes, but I haven't really heard them say anything negative about Harry and Meghan. Echo Bella says she is a no eyelash fool. Facts. And we're talking about Victoria here. Victoria. Well, we're talking about the royal reporter here that lost her job, Victoria. I just realized I'm talking about two Victorias, Victoria Beckham, and then this fool right here, Victoria, the royal commentator. Oh, you don't like them because they're friends of the royal family? See, I don't think like that. I don't. I don't think like that at all. I think that when it comes to British people, a lot of British people, I mean, they've been brainwashed for decades to like the royal family. That's the culture. I was talking to a British person the other day, and they were saying to me that people like me, somebody like me, has to realize and understand that is the culture that they are brought up in is to worship the royal family. I don't. I'll just put it to you this way: I'm not going to instantly not like somebody just because they like the royal family. I'm just not. If they're if they're British, I'm just not because that's like their culture. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's true. That's true, Miss Jones. Miss Jones says to each their own. Yeah, I was just looking in the chat, see how come you guys don't like David Beckham. Let's see. So Donna Black says the royal commentator is the typical white woman trying to use her tears to get sympathy. So true. So true. Playing victim, but yet they always accuse Megan of playing victim, right? But when it happens to them, oh, it's like their eyelashes fall off. That's right. Thank you, Church Nelly. Church Nelly says Special K Nacho is fine. David Beckham is what? I should have read your whole comment before I put it up there. Let me take this out. What? How, I don't. David Beckham is fine. I'm sorry. He's fine to me. To me, he's cute. Let's see. Yeah, this is a good point right here. So Dolores says David Beckham isn't going to say anything about Harry and Meghan and stay on William and Kath's good side because he's been working so hard to get one of those rewards from the royal family. That's true. I agree. I absolutely agree with that. But I don't know if that's um necessarily a bad thing for him, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is that our fandom it I don't think we should because of our fandom and because of how loyal we are to Harry and Meghan, I don't think we should put those same expectations on other people who may like Harry and Meghan, but they're just not in the same fandom as us, if you understand what I'm saying. What? Oh Lord, Lord, we're gonna have to fight. David Beckham ain't got nothing on Lenny Kravitz. They're two totally separate. I started to say entities. I mean, it depends on your flavor, right? Lenny Kravitz is fine now. Don't get me wrong. Lenny Kravitz is fine. But to me, David Beckham is fine too. I'd take them both. Shoot. That's true. Connie's right. Beckham wants to be nice. That's why he flew all the way from Dubai for an appearance with Will and Kate on their flop trip to the US. Were there any pictures of that? I heard he was there, but I don't recall seeing any pictures that he was there. But keep in mind the reason why Harry went to that soccer game in the United States between LA Galaxy and David Beckham's Miami team was because of David Beckham. I'm done with you guys. I like David Beckham. I think he's fine. Okay? If you don't want to watch the docu-series, don't watch it. All right? All right. So back to this special idiot. Okay. So what I got out of the David Beckham docuseries, right, was the fact that here's a guy, very, very talented in soccer. Basically put what team was he playing for? The Manchester United on his back. Um, you know, they became a great soccer team basically because of him. And he made one mistake. He made a mistake, right? He got a red card during a very important game, and the Manchester United ended up losing the game. And they blamed it all on David Beckham. And he was a kid. He was like, I don't even think he was in his 20s yet when that happened, right? And it's like after that, every game he went to, he got booed and booed and booed and booed. Now, I wasn't feeling sorry for him now because I know that there are black football players that go through way worse than David Beckham ever has in his natural entire life. Right? I mean, I didn't see anybody throwing bananas at David Beckham and calling him the N word, right? Or threatening to kill him, right? He basically just got booed and they talked a lot of mess about his wife, Victoria. But That's basically what this extra idiot is talking about, saying how he faced a lot of hate and a lot of abuse. It definitely wasn't on the level of the black football players, right? Um, but you know, he faced a lot of hate, and mainly the hate was just a lot of booing, right? I mean, people boo, but anyway, um, so she's basically saying because he never complained, then that was a great thing. It was a great thing that he never complained, and he became successful, and that's the best revenge. Well, I mean, he was already successful, right? He was already successful because he's a naturally great football player, soccer player. Okay. But the reason why she gets jackass of the week is because she's not practicing what she preaches. Okay, like I said, Vicky Vick has been whining, complaining, whinging, playing victim since she got fired from CNN for lying. Okay. And another thing, what are we saying here? Like, what are we saying when people face abuse, when they face hate, right? It's best for them just to remain silent. And then when they become successful, that's the best revenge. Like, what kind of shit is that? That absolutely makes no sense. It makes no sense. I just don't understand. I don't understand that way of thinking. It's crazy. So if somebody gets raped, right? Should they just remain silent? And then if they become successful later on in life, that's the best revenge? Does that make any sense? It's like, shut up. That's why she's getting jackass of the week. All victims of abuse should speak up and not remain silent. That's why this special idiot is getting jackass of the week. All right. All right. So now we're going to our Shut Up Fool segment. You guys ready for this one? You guys ready for our Shut Up Fool segment? Who do you think this fool is going to be? I mean, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them out there. I'm looking in the comments. That lit for sexist. I love that username. I'm just putting this up there because I just love that username. Lit for sexist. Agree. The stiff upper lip syndrome secrets keep them sick. Well, I mean, it's like maybe that's why it just seems like that culture. A lot of people in that culture are just so unhappy. Just seems so cranky. It's not just about the stale crumpets and the bitter tea. Ah, somebody guessed it. H Night guessed it. Yes, it is. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So it's time for our Shut Up Fool segment, and somebody already guessed who the fool is. Yes, yes, yes. It's Little Richard. Okay? And actually, that's an insult to call him Little Richard, right? I mean, it's an insult to Little Richard to call this fool right here Little Richard. Okay? But it's Richard. It's Richard E., right? It's him. So, like we were saying, discussing earlier in the podcast about, the Archwell Foundation hosting the Mental Health Summit, right? And so what does this idiot do, right? What does this fool do? Right? What does he do? Of course, he's got to put focus on Wank and Bones. Right? He's got to, because Harry and Meghan, Archwell Foundation, they've been getting a lot of positive press about this mental health summit that they hosted in New York. I mean, come on now. Of course they're going to get a lot of press. The dang US Surgeon General was there along with our second gentleman, Douglas Imhoff, right? So, they can't take that. People like this idiot right here on your screen, they can't take it. They literally blow a fuse when they see Harry and Meghan Archwell Foundation getting all this positive press, but especially when Harry and Meghan are seen with dignitaries. Okay, when they're seen with dignitaries, when they're seen with people who are in upper levels of government, when they're seen with people who have huge platforms and that are very influential, they can't take it. Okay, so somehow, some way, they got to put a negative spin on it and include Wank and Bones, right? There you go, Wank and Stank. Somehow, some way, they have to include those two, right? Either they're going to include Wank and Stank, or they're going to put some type of correlation with Fred and Gladys. Okay, so this is what Richard did. He writes some column, right, about Harry and Meghan's mental health summit in New York, asking, well, what about Wank and Stank's mental health? Okay, this guy lies. That I actually read it. Okay, I archived it and I read it. This guy lied and said that he noticed that um that some of Meghan and Harry's cheerleaders were saying that Wank and Stank didn't care about Megan's mental health when she was pregnant. They never reached out to her or anything like that. It's like this dude straight lie. When's the last time that really anybody in the Success Squad has had that conversation or discussed Wank and Stank not reaching out to Megan while she was pregnant? Right? I mean, he just pulled that right out of his ass. Right? Nobody's talking about that. Right? Not within, at least I haven't seen it. Okay, so he comes up with this story basically saying Meghan and Harry fans, aka Success Squad, has been talking about how Wank and Stank did not reach out to Megan while she was pregnant. They didn't care about her mental health, right? And he just goes on this tangent about how what about Wank and Stank's mental health? Okay, that Harry had said all these things about his brother in his book, and that Megan was wrong for calling out Mumbelina when Mumbelina was the one that made her cry, and he just found it just totally ridiculous and da 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 da. And it's like, shut up, fool! Just shut up. You're mad and you're pissed and you're upset because ain't nobody talking about Wank and Mumbelina's mental health summit that they had in the UK. Nobody's talking about it. Is anybody in the UK talking about it? Like seriously, is anybody in the UK talking about it? Which I'm pretty sure that it's being reported on, but does anybody care? See, that's what it's all about, folks. That's why they constantly gun for Harry and Meghan because they know when those two do something, it's going to get global mass appeal. Let me put it to you this way, right? Let me put it to you this way. Here in these United States of America, and Canada as well, worldwide bona fide news media outlets reported about the Archwell Foundation's Mental Health Summit in New York. That was reported on globally. Okay? Was Prince William, I'm going to use their names now, was Prince William and Kate Middleton's mental health summary reported on globally the same way the Archwell Foundation's mental health summit was reported on globally? Seriously, was it? Was it reported on outside of the UK? I mean, I'm pretty sure, there were some countries outside of the UK that reported on it. But was it all over the media the way the Archwell Foundation's mental health summit was? And what I mean by that, not just reported on TV, but these different magazines that are all over the place, these different social media websites. Hmm? No, it wasn't. That's why people like this idiot on your screen come up with these dumbass stories trying to make it seem like William and Kate are victims of Harry and Meghan. That's why. Seriously. And the Archwell Foundation, right? The Archwell Foundation, that mental health summit was focused. It was focused, purpose driven, right? That it wasn't just, what's the word I'm looking for? It wasn't just a generalization of mental health, right? It wasn't just a broad paintbrush of mental health. They focused on one area of mental health that a lot of people can relate to, because a lot of people are parents that have children that are up in these social media streets, right? That mental health summit was about making spaces safer for our young people and our young adults on social media, right? And it put a spotlight, bam, on parents who have lost their children because of the negative impacts of being on social media. It gave those parents a voice, right? What was Wank and Stank's mental health summit about? Hmm? Hmm? There you go. You don't even know because you don't care. Just like 99.9% of people in the world don't care. All right, so Richard, shut up, fool. Stop victimizing poor Kate Middleton's tears, because don't nobody give a shit. Okay? Don't nobody care. Kate Middleton is a bully. She bullied Megan at her own damn um preparation for her wedding. She demanded that Megan change the bride's girl's dresses 4 days before the girl was supposed to walk down the aisle. Okay? Everybody knows that Kate Middleton is a bully. She's a bully, bully, bully. Does Kate Middleton even have friends? Like, seriously, does the girl got friends? Does Mumbelina have friends? Besides her sister, who looks like she's even more of a bully. Her sister looks like a little bulldog. I'm not weaponizing that white woman's tears. Please. Shut up. All right. Oh, let me look at the time here. Okay, okay. I'm running over. Okay, so we're gonna bring it down a notch a little bit because we all know there's a lot going on in the world, right? There's a lot going on in the world with Israel, Gaza. So, Archwell Foundation, they released a statement with heavy hearts, and their statement is at the Archwell Foundation with Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, we stand against all acts of terrorism and brutality. We are supporting our partners and organizations on the front lines in Israel to provide the urgent aid needed and to help all innocent victims of this unconscionable level of human suffering. Okay. Seems like a nice neutral statement, but there's some squatties that got serious issues with this statement, and that's okay. That is okay. Okay. And it's okay to agree to disagree, right? Just like plenty of you guys up in my chat are disagreeing with me about this damn David Beckham. That is okay. We can agree to disagree. I think he's fine as hell. And I liked his docuseries. Okay. And I'm still going to tell you guys you need to watch it. And if you don't like what I got to say, I love you still. I love you anyway. Smooches. Okay. But you got some squatties who had some serious issues with this neutrality statement. Okay. I guess some had issues because they didn't mention the Palestinian people, okay, or they didn't say anything about Gaza. Okay, I get it. I get it. Okay, but I also want people to understand and realize that you're talking about a foundation here, right? And of course, a foundation like this is going to be neutral, right? But we all know, come on now, we all know that Harry and Meghan, they're definitely going to be sending some type of resources to Gaza and the Palestinian people. I mean, we know that, squatties. We know our faves. Okay. And they're not going to always do what we want them to do. They're just not. They're not going to always do what we want them to do. Would I have liked them to mention the Palestinian people? Absolutely. Okay. And I'm not going to express my feelings about what's going on right now because I don't want to offend anybody. Okay. I don't. And I'm not well versed in this conflict. I'm just not. Okay. But yes, it would have been nice for them to mention Gaza or the Palestinian people. But again, those of you who have issues with this statement, you're entitled to have issues with this statement. There are going to be times where squatties just disagree with Harry and Meghan. Okay. But just keep in mind, they're not perfect. They're not perfect people. They're not. All right. All right. Okay. All right. So you guys remember when this picture came out? Remember? I believe it was taken in Beverly Hills, right? I think it was like 2 weeks ago. It was like that during that week when it was my birthday week, right? So, these young ladies, they had posted this picture. It was Jennifer Sue. She goes by Jen Sue, right? I think she's in the entertainment business. And Megan, she voluntarily took a picture with these young ladies, okay? And Jen Sue went ahead and posted it, and immediately squatties started following her. Why squatties do stuff like that, I don't know. But to each its own. Like Miss Jones said, to each his own, right? Um, and then like I think a day later, Page Six and some of the other tabloids posted this picture as well. So squatties immediately went to Jinsu's X page and started trashing her, talking crap about her. They were mad with her because they assumed that she sold the picture to Page Six, right? And in some of those comments, I saw some racial stuff in some of those comments. Now, I don't know if some of the racial stuff was from real squatties. I would bet money and say no because a lot of those usernames and avatars I did not recognize. But we just have to be careful because man, we get infiltrated a lot. A lot of people open up fake accounts pretending like they're part of the Sexa Squad when they really, really aren't. Okay. But anyway, Jinsu ended up posting this response to all of the hate that she got from people who assumed that she sold her picture. I don't know how many of you saw this, but she basically said, just for the record, I did not sell anything or any image of Megan. You are more than welcome to ask any of those publications. I will not be pulled into cancel culture. I posted it on IG and it went viral. Uh, Good for her. Okay. Good for her. I just think some people at the Sexual Squad just need to chill. 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 Megan knew when she took the picture with these young ladies that the picture was going to go viral and eventually was going to end up in some British trash ass tabloid or some American trash ass tabloids. Let Megan live. Let Megan do her. She's been in the show business game, the media game far too long. Okay. You could tell a picture that Megan volunteered to be in versus a paparazzi picture. Okay. I'm tired of you guys going for David Beckham in my chat. I'm tired. What is wrong with you, Sonia? I'm tired. Well, you guys aren't going to let me live this down, are you? Are you? That's the wrong one. Message. You guys aren't going to let me live down this big David Beckham thing. That's okay. That's okay. Because David Beckham is fine. So you know what you're talking about. There's nothing fine about David Beckham. Who does he think he is? Nacho? Oh my God. David Beckham is fine. Huh. I don't care what none of y'all say. Anyway, back to this subject at hand. When Megan volunteers to be in a picture, she knows good and well that that picture is going to go viral. She knows more than likely it's going to end up in some American, British tabloid trash ash paper. Okay, let the girl live. She knows what she's doing. She's got way too much experience in the media, way too much experience in Hollywood. I mean, it's what Megan did before she met Prince Harry, guys. People ask her for autograph, people ask her for pictures, she would go ahead and do it. Okay? All right. That's all I have to say about that. That's it. So let me go ahead and go into the comments. And if I see any David Beckham comments, I'm coming for you. I'm just letting you know. You say something about David Beckham, I'm coming for you. Let's see. You think Megan's gonna write a book? So Donna Black says, I'm hoping that when Megan decides to write her book, she tells it all and does not spare anyone's feelings in that royal family. I don't think Megan's writing a book. I don't. I don't think Megan is going to write a book. I said writing a book. I don't think Megan is going to write a book. I don't. I don't. I think Megan has said everything she got to say. And she's going to enjoy her husband and her babies. It's true. So H Knight says the UK media isn't interested in Wankenstein. They didn't cover. They did cover H&M Summit. Hey, did you see H Knight? Did you see Sky News on? I was on X, and Sky News actually live streamed Harry and Meghan's mental health summit. That tells me all I need to know. Okay, all right. Sky News live streamed Archwell Foundation Mental Health Summit. Did they do that for Wankenstein? Hell to the no. That's why Fred and Gladys will never in their natural entire life ever take away those titles. Say something about David Beckham, I'm coming for you. Thank you, Black Queen. Black Queen says, please thumbs up, share, subscribe. Yep, I did mention that, Little Mac. Also, one of the families was featured on 60 Minutes, and New York is trying to pass legislation to help as a result of the summit. Oh, I didn't know that part, though. I didn't know New York was trying to pass legislation to help. So, the summit. Are they? Sherry Ware says Wank and Steak are still doing surveys. I had somebody send me. I forgot what it was. A USA Gov poll, and we Americans don't believe in polls anymore. Not after what happened at the 2016 election, right? Presidential election. But somebody has sent me a US Gov poll, and Megan was like at 42%. She was like at 42% positive. It was 20 something percent negative and 20 something percent neutral. So if you add the neutral to the positive, she had close to like, basically you could say a 70% approval rating. And I was like, that's cool, that's nice, but like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they're not going to report that, right? They're not going to report that. Jack the ass Newsweek guy is only going to talk about the Newsweek polls. Oops. Hold on, hold on. Yes, he is. Richard is a real mean girl. He is T baby 35. Yep. But they won't do it, Cookies and Cream. Cookies and Cream says what Richard needs to focus on are all those vile, racist, hateful posts that are on the Unroyal Family's website. Won't he discuss why they're not being taken down? No, he sure won't. No way, no how, no way, no how. Not gonna happen. Okay, this is something I didn't know. Well, in regards to Vice President Kamala Harris, I figured that because second gentleman was there. So Marshall says both Vice President, Vice President Kamala Harris and NYAG, so New York Attorney General Letitia James have joined Harry and Meghan's advocacy against online children bullying lawfully and officially. That's awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. See, that's impact, right? That's impact and results. Results. Right? Results. Change. Getting others to join you. Others who are in powerful positions of authority. Okay? Two black African American women who are in positions of power. Vice President Kamala Harris is the most powerful woman in this world. That's why they trash her a lot because it's scary. It's scary for millions and millions and millions and millions on top of 100 million racist white people to even think that the most powerful woman in this world is black. Okay. But you got two black women in positions of power, Vice President Kamala Harris and New York Attorney General Letitia James, who have joined the Archwell Foundation to advocate against online bullying. That is awesome. Awesome. But let's focus on New York Attorney General Letitia. It's either Letitia or Letitia James, right? Who's scared of her? And trust me, he's scared. He's more scared of the Attorney General in New York than he is the prosecutor in Georgia. I think the prosecutor in Georgia has more of a case on dude than the New York Attorney General is. But who is scared, deathly scared of Miss James? He's scared. Trust me, he's scared. He's scared of her. 45. 45 is scared, okay, of Miss James. All right. All right. I'm going back into the comments. Come for David Beckham. I'm coming for you. Oh! I just made that noise because my Yorkie licked my foot. Sorry. Oh, H Night. Thank you so much for the donation. Oh, thank you. H Night says, "Happy belated birthday. Have a drink on me." I shall, because I celebrate the whole month. I celebrate the whole month. But thank you so much for the donation, H Night. Much appreciated. Yeah, me and Squatty's got beef. We got beef. Okay. So I don't know how to say your username, but I'll just call you Gate. Busy here, but balling over because you of your beef with the squad and David Beckham. Yes, we got beef. I got beef with the squaddies about David Beckham because I think he's fine. Okay. 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 I think he's fine. They don't think he's fine. All right. And they can't stand Victoria Beckham. All I said is I have a new found respect for her, but that may be exaggerating. I guess what I'm trying to say is I didn't realize her story, but I think David Beckham's fine. I'm not even saying that he faced the same level of abuse as black football players. I thought I made that perfectly clear. Okay. He just got booed a lot. Right. He got booed a lot. Nobody was throwing bananas at David Beckham. Nobody was calling him the N-word. Nobody was doing death threats against him. Okay. But the booing and the constant hate, it had a serious effect on his mental health. And I was just talking about Arian Barbie putting up a post saying, praising people who get abused and hate on a daily basis, praising those people who stay silent because their best revenge is when they're successful. It's like, bitch, shut up. That's all I'm saying. I didn't really mean to open up a whole can of words, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's like, it's okay to agree to disagree because David Beckham is fine. I'm still in the chat. Well, thank you, thank you. Okay, I got a pro Beckham post in the chat. Yes, yes. Thank you. Is it Yalibi? Yalibi ND says David Beckham went through some hell as well. I don't care about him one way or another. That said, he is sexy. That's all I'm saying. He fine to me. I'm sorry. And to me, the older he gets, the better he looks. Hi, Beverly. So Beverly says, "Hi all, and Special K. Been listening in the clouds because I had some work for my job to finish. Really good podcast. I agree with you that she will not be writing a book at this time. Yeah, I don't think Megan. I mean, I'm not saying she'll never write a book, but I at right now, if we see a book from Megan, it'll probably be about 10, 15 years from now, maybe even 20. I think Megan is so done about the royal family. I really do. I think she's moved on. She's sailed on from that, and she's focused on Arts World Foundation. She's focused on her husband. She's focused on her kids. She could care. Meg, think about it. Her actions are showing us. Megan will not go to the UK. She done said nope twice. Okay. She just she's no, she's moved on. I mean, eventually she's gonna end up going to the UK, I believe, because you know there may be some business there that she's got to do or whatever. And she's still a patron of SmartWorks. But yeah, if she writes a book, it'll be a good 15, 20 years from now. When her kids are grown, and that's probably when she'll do it. I haven't seen you in a while. So RSVP1224 says, Special K, I'm listening on the timelines. The Becks are jackasses and they have picked a side. Will and Kate, you will never see him on camera with H again. Victoria never thanked him for wearing her clothes. But haven't the Beckhams always been on Will and Kate's side though? Right? I don't think that they've ever been like pro Meghan and Harry. You know what I'm saying? I think when it comes to Meghan and Harry, they just, they play nice. But my point is, it still doesn't negate the fact that David Beckham is fine. That's all I'm saying. Let's see. But I hear what you're saying though. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this podcast. Let's see. Oh, before I end it though, oh my God. Let me hurry up. So, news came out that Dan Wooten was finally canceled. He's finally canceled from GB News. So he's done. He's finished. He's kaput. That's it. Dan Wooten has finally been canceled from GB News. Right? Yay! It's about time, right? This accused rapist has finally been canceled. Now, this man has been abusing D. humanizing, vilifying, crucifying Meghan, basically since she married Prince Harry. And the chickens have finally come home to roost on this jackass. Fired. He was fired. I guess it took GB News a long time to finally make that decision. Maybe they were afraid of, getting sued by this asshole. Who knows, right? But he's finally done. And I heard he was looking for a house in Scotland. Oh my gosh. He's finally canceled, guys. He's finally fired. Dan Wooten finally got fired. He got fired from the Daily Mail and he got fired from GB News. He's done. Now I'm not saying that he's not coming back to TV because I wouldn't be surprised if, another media news outlet hires him. I wouldn't be surprised, right? But then again, I don't know because when you're facing, rape charges, these media news outlets may want to wait until that issue is resolved. But he got fired. Dan Wooten got fired. Praise God. Right? Praise God. All that shit he was talking about Meghan. I mean, every day he was hate targeting Meghan, and he was hate targeting the Sussex squad. Right? I guess we got Dan Wooten burnout because I am so surprised that we haven't come up with some type of hashtag and a whole bunch of memes in regards to Dan Wooten. That is so true. Isn't karma real? Karma is real now. Karma is real. Okay? Karma is real. She is a real bitch. And damn, you nailed it. Is it Yalibi? Karma is real. She is a real bitch. She never forgets. Karma took its time with Dan Wooten. Karma took her time. But once she struck, she struck. Okay? Karma played the long game with that asshole. First, Karma struck with the Daily Mail, right? Then eventually made its way to GB News. Dan Wooten is an unemployed bum. That's what he is. Right now, as we speak, he's an unemployed bum. Hallelujah. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, he ends up getting another job. He'll probably end up on Talk TV or TV Talk. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be surprised. But still, whoever hires him, be careful. Because if he's found guilty or gets charged with some type of crime, mm, seriously, Dan Wooten is an unemployed bum. We know what we're going to hear next? We're going to hear next that Dan Wooten is in the hospital because he tried to commit suicide. Watch. 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 He's going to make himself the victim. Watch. Dan Wooten is an unemployed bum. That's exactly what he is. Okay? Man, when I read that, I was just so happy. I was so happy. Uh. It's like, what? Really? Dan Wooten got fired from GB News? Did he get fired because he raped those men and was videotaping men having sex and then blackmailing them? Ooh, girl, child, really? All right. Let me get off my Dan Wooten soapbox, but that bitch got fired, and it's about time. Can't stand his ass. And like somebody said, karma is real. And one thing we've all noticed is that a lot of the Megan haters, boy, karma is coming back at them tenfold, isn't it? Isn't it? Really is. Got some praying ancestors, right? All right. All right. Now we've come to the end of this podcast. So I was able to keep you guys at 2 hours, which is an improvement for me. Okay. So again, I want to thank Black Queen for the donation. Thank you. Thank you so much, sis. H Knight, thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate it. Carol, thank you so much for the donation. And you got a super sticker. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And RSVP 1224, thank you so much, sis. Appreciate the donation. And RSVP says, happy belated birthday, Special K. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you. I had a great time on my birthday weekend. And this weekend, I had to lay low. But next weekend, we're going to start the party up again. You got to celebrate yourself, right? You got to celebrate yourself. All right, guys. So we have come to into this podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed this live podcast of Success Talk because it was pretty lively. Again, on the David Beckham stuff, trust me, I get what you guys are saying. I get that they're wank and stanks, you know, people, and that David Beckham's trying to get a night. He's trying to get knighted and all that. I'm just saying, I think David Beckham is fine, and I thought the docu series was really good. So, we can agree to disagree on that, but David Beckham is fine. Um, let's see. I'm gonna leave it alone. Um, again, thank you for living. Oh my gosh, I'm getting tongue tied again. Thank you for listening to the live podcast of Success Talk this beautiful Sunday morning. Do we have anything to look forward to when it comes to our faves? Anything to look forward to? I'm just looking forward to the holidays. How about you guys? I am looking forward to the holidays. I'm ready for this year to be over. Ugh. But Archwell Foundation, continue to go on their website and look up for updates. Um, and again, I encourage everybody to listen to all of the Pro Success Squad podcasts. There's plenty of them out there. And if you want to start your own podcast, do it. So that's really all I have. C Mac, thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate it. And Yalibi, thank you so much for the donation and the super sticker. You got a super sticker. All right, you go, girl. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and go. Um, if this is the first time that you're listening to this live podcast, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Everybody go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. If you are not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. Channel members, I will be putting out another uh, Special K Random Thoughts later on today. And with our channel members, I have plans to do some more stuff with our channel members. So you guys get ready for that. Uh, that's all I have. So everybody, make sure that you feed the chickens. Don't forget to hydrate. Right? And no bad energy. No bad energy. All right, guys. All right, squaddies. Are you guys ready for the rebel yell? Are you ready for the rebel yell? Let's get ready for our rebel yell. Okay. First, before I do that, let me look and see which outro I'm gonna use. I need to update my intro and outro to this channel. Jeez. All right, guys, ready? Continue to wear the SS on your chest because you know squatties are the best. I love you. I love you all. David Beckham is fine as hell. And I will see you guys soon. Love you. Bye, squatties.